In this video, I'll be talking about the top 5 decisions you will need to make that will affect your budget. This is the first video in our 4-part series about your wedding budget. Before we jump into the video, if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Kelly Sugano, and I started A Perfect Day Hawaii in 2002 with the goal of providing peace of mind through planning. There's nothing I enjoy more than knowing I'm helping someone to enjoy such a special time in their life, so let's get to it. The first decision is choosing your wedding date. We've created a separate video on this topic, so feel free to watch that next. We have a link to that video in the description below. The second decision is the time of the day that you decide to have your reception. If you choose to have a lunch reception instead of a dinner reception, you will often find that the menus will cost less per head. Not only does the type of food offered for lunch tend to be less expensive, but you often have less time to occupy the venue if you have a lunch reception. With this in mind, if you plan to have a lunch reception, please anticipate that you may not be able to have all of the traditional events. As examples like parent dances, toasts, speeches, cake cutting, first dance, bouquet and garter tosses, not everything may fit into your program. Just a few things you may want to consider and keep in mind if you're looking at a lunch reception is that having a slideshow may or may not be possible depending on the lighting in the space that you're having it in. If the space you're having it in has a lot of natural sunlight, it may be very hard to see a slideshow. If you're also interested in having beach or sunset pictures, an afternoon ceremony is what you're looking for. The third decision is the size of your guest list. This point is likely much more obvious, but more people you have, the more it will cost. The tip I want to point out is how important it is that you work with an accurate head count. Many times I work with couples who initially work off of best guesses and estimates. I strongly encourage you to create your actual guest list and discuss it with anyone who will be allowed to add input, so that way you work with your worst case scenario numbers. The last thing you want is to be surprised when you exceed your budget closer to your wedding date because there was a misunderstanding of exactly who would be invited. The fourth decision is the venue that you choose. The venue you select can be a huge determining factor with your budget, but one that is the trickiest if you don't know what you're looking for and what you're comparing. My tip in choosing your venue is that it's not just the food cost per person that you'll be paying for. Depending on if you're using an estate or ranch versus a hotel, resort, or country club, you may need to consider many other factors that incur costs. There are actually so many factors to consider when choosing your venue that I've created an entirely separate video just to explain them. So don't forget to use the link in the description below to sign up for a newsletter, and we'll notify you when new videos go live. The fifth decision is the size of your wedding party. We know that in many parts of the world, this does not apply. Being born here and raised in Hawaii, I know that we tend to pay for everything when it comes to our wedding party. We pay for their attire, including alterations, hair and makeup, transportation, flowers, and yes, sometimes even accommodations. With all of this in mind, you can probably see how the size of your wedding party can also quickly take a chunk out of your budget. Did you find this video helpful? I'd love to hear what your favorite tip was, so please leave a comment for me below. Our next video will help you to create your custom wedding budget, so don't forget to watch that one next. We have a link to that in our description below as well. And just as a heads up, that is the first video in our 4-part series about your wedding budget, so feel free to use the links below as you desire. I'd also like to thank all of the vendors who helped to make this video, so I'll list links to them in the description below. Planning a wedding shouldn't be stressful, and I'm here to help. If you use the link in the description below to sign up for our newsletter, we will notify you when new videos go live, and you'll be directed to a link to download free templates and documents to follow along with our videos. I'd also love to hear from you, so please comment below what you'd like us to discuss, or for more tips and ideas, check us out on social media accounts on Instagram or Facebook at A Perfect Day Hawaii, or our website www.aperfectdayhawaii.com. Happy planning!